Yeah, I think there's been lots of times that I've been to Scotiabank to watch like the Leafs play. So be there and to be around like family members and friends. Like people are coming all over the place to come and watch. So it's really exciting to go against like a crowd like this, and it's just amplifying the women's game and seeing how many people are really supporting us.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's perfect to go into a game like this where we know it's going to be loud, it's going to be like high energy right off the hop with both teams. Obviously, really exciting for them too. Like this is a home game for them at Scotiabank, so I think it's a great way to just get right into it and get our kind of what we've been building leading up to the break, just jump right back in and not waste any time.
Yeah, I think when you look at the other takeover games, I mean, it's been amazing to see the crowds. And I mean, Toronto always shows up, so it'll be exciting to have and be a part of that. I know we're really excited. I know we didn't get to have that opportunity last year, but just makes it more exciting this year because we are a part of it now.
Yeah, I think, just to echo what Ella said kind of too, I think it's exciting for us. The whole league has a lot of players from this area, but I mean, our team also has a lot of players from this area. It's kind of like a hometown game in a sense, like for some Leafs fans, so I think that's a really cool thing to be a part of. Yeah, it's tough. I'm sure Ella can speak to it too. When you're a leader on the team and you're used to being like right in the thick of things, you're playing like a lot of minutes and you don't even have to think about kind of the presence you have, but when you're watching from above and you're coming in and out and you're focusing on your own rehab, sometimes it can feel weird or feel like you're not doing anything. But I think for me, I had to remember like me getting myself to my 100% was the best I could do for the team at the time, and I think Ella did a great job with that this year, but it definitely had some hard days, and I know for me, I definitely had days where I felt like I did nothing, but then to come out of that and then come into this season where I could just play made it a lot easier for me.
Do you feel like your actual game is like, you just seem like in a rhythm if I can observe, like to be there at the start, you get your feet under you.
Yeah, for sure. And like anytime you're injured or coming back from injury, like it's in your head. Even if you're 100%, you might not have your full confidence. Your timing's a little off. You're maybe thinking like, oh, did I tweak this? Did I tweak that? So to be able to just play hockey and not have anything else occupying your mind, it definitely helps to get you in a rhythm and have that confidence back.
And then sort of the flip side, not that you're thinking about the injury, but this year you missed some games right at the start, and it's the team's so much better with both everybody healthy.
Thank you.
Obviously, but what was that like, and now coming back?
Yeah, I mean, Micah said a lot of great things, and I agree with everything she said. She nailed it right on the head there. It's different. I think for myself having that injury, I mean, it was the first time I really had an injury that kind of took me out of the game in the sense, and you kind of find different ways to engage with the team and still be a part of it while also focusing on yourself. And Micah said it well, I think you really have to focus on yourself. The priority is getting you back to 100% and getting you back on the ice, and that reminder that you do matter and you are a part of this team and you are going to be a big contributing factor to this team is also something that may get lost in the thick of the injury sometimes. But like she said, some days are harder than others, but in the end, it's all worth it to come back and be a part of the team and have that excitement and still play the game that we love. So, yeah, I mean, for myself, like watching our second game, I think it was night and day difference how well we were able to kind of turn the tides. And, that's a kudos to our coaches that, keep going at us and keep saying, like, this is what we need, this is what we want. And then kudos to the players for taking a hold of that and really putting that forefront of what Sirens hockey is. And it was really exciting to see. And, games are going to be always a roller coaster ride. I mean, that's a game of hockey, it's a game of mistakes. And I think what's been really impressive with our team is how consistent we don't make those big dips. And then watching it from a bird's eye view for a few games, you get to see teams in different perspectives. So watching them and then being like, oh, this is where we could probably exploit them a little bit more, or this is where we could probably amp up our game a little bit. So you get a different view because, bird's eye view and a video don't lie, unfortunately.
I think I feel like we don't try to compare very often. Like we have pretty much full new coaching staff and a lot of new players, so it's a different team. And I think for us, we just wanted to go into training camp and just focus on this year. But I think one thing that our team's doing a really good job of is we just bought in right away. Like the coaches came in with a clear game plan of how we could be better. And I think our players just said, yep, like we're doing it, and we've really worked to try and like hone in on that and tweak it where we can and get better and try and build an identity. So like when we show up at any game, people are like, this is what New York's about, and we as players can, like Ella said, when we have a dip, we can go, hey, this is where we're going to be. And I think that's what we've been able to do a really good job of this year. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, anytime to represent Canada is obviously a huge honor, and to be able to play those games in Canada, similar to tomorrow, it's going to be a great crowd, great fan base. So I look forward to any time I get to play for Canada, but with that team and that group of girls. That's the team I dreamed as a kid to be a part of. So anytime I get to be in that environment and grow and keep developing my game is something I'm always going to welcome.
Yeah, I mean, they always talk about the USA-Canada rivalry and how electric it always is. It doesn't matter if you're in the Canadian environment or down the States somewhere, you're always going to have a great game. Those games are really exciting. I think the first game's always one of those ones where you're just kind of feeling each other out, and then it kind of amps up from there. And, it's all about who's going to really be on. And like Micah said, it's always exciting to go back and play for that team and be with that group of girls. I mean, there's nothing better than wearing the maple leaf. Yeah, I mean, it's never a bad thing, I think, to get your group together. And, it's important for them to be able to fill in spots and let people try and see how players do in that environment. And I think that's important for the growth of both internationally and in our league too. And, I mean, it may continue, it may not, but either way, I think it's important to be able to, get with that group and then get back to your pro teams and bring what you learned from your pro teams there and vice versa. So, yeah, I mean, I love both environments.
Yeah, I think it's kind of twofold. There's definitely more familiarity now with the U.S. players. For me, I didn't play with a lot of American players in college, so I didn't actually know a lot of them. Now I've maybe played with them or played against them more. And then I think for our Canadian team, too, we spend less time together and more time as opponents now, so that changes, our dynamic a bit, too. You get back together and you kind of reacquaint yourselves with all the different teams, whereas before that was kind of our main team. So, yeah, it changes a bit, but I think at the end of the day, when both of us put on that jersey, the rivalry continues, and it's always going to be that way.